This is a podcast for spiritual downloads, star seeds, light workers, and authenticity. Spiritual awareness is advised. Welcome to the 1111 podcast. So glad to have you here. I hope that you're doing well, staying safe wherever you are, wherever this is meeting and greeting you. It is a new season. It is a new year. Let's start this off by taking a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Let's start again with another deep breath in and a deep breath out. All right, guys, it has been a minute. So if you are just now joining, welcome. If you are returning, it's always a pleasure. Thank you guys so much for being here. I'm so honored to have you guys just tuning in, listening to these downloads, and hope that you guys enjoyed the vibe on the way here. That was called Space Nights. That is an instrumental by the one and only Agent K, which is myself. You can find me on the social media platforms at Agent K21 Podcast and at Agent K21 Music for instrumentals and music and just vibes. And so that instrumental was just a sample of some of the instrumentals I have. So if you are a musician, an artist, just a creative person, and you want to use background music for something you have coming up, please feel free to reach out. You can hit me up via email, via social media. Let me know if you would like to use a track. I have tons of instrumentals. The SoundCloud link is in the description. And I'm selling tracks starting at $10 and going up from there. So if you want a instrumental track produced by yours truly, you can definitely get that. It's been a lot going on in the world right now, so I'm sending so much love, so much peace for everyone right now. If you're catching this in real time, we are 2 years into a major pandemic and threats of war and Black Lives Matter and all of these different things that are happening, and we're going to dive deeper into all of that. But I want to start just kind of refreshing you guys, giving you guys a gentle reminder that if you have any topic requests, you can send those into my inbox at Agent K21 Podcast on Instagram, or you can hit me up on Twitter at Agent K21. You can send me a direct message, a text, email, however, all of that is listed in the description, so feel free to check that out. Additionally, if you are a musician or want to be a musician and you maybe struggle with traditional style of learning instruments and theory and etc., I basically offer alternative ways of learning because I kind of taught myself how to play different instruments. So if that's something that you're interested in, I do provide virtual music lessons as well. And I just gotta say, I am so grateful for you guys. Just thank you. I have to thank the sponsors and all the imaginary friends out there that keep this thing going, because it's been just amazing to continue to be putting out these videos and these episodes. So yes, I did mention videos because I do have a YouTube channel. So I've been going back and making videos for my previous episodes, and I am actually now recording myself visually for those who prefer to see a visual with these podcasts. You can now check those out. It'll be a while before I get to these newer episodes where I'm actually showing my face on these episodes, but if you want to check out the older ones, you can definitely check out the YouTube page, and thank you in advance for subscribing. And if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe. So I appreciate that. And right now I'm actually using a different setup, so I just want to give a huge shout out to Anchor because yes, you might have heard an ad or whatnot depending on when you're listening to this, but I just am so grateful for such a free and beneficial platform that they have to make podcasts. So if this is something you want to do, I definitely sponsor them, and say check it out, because it's just so wonderful, because they not only give to you, but they give back. So, through creating this passive income through this channel, it's really been beneficial to get me the gear that I need to create these videos, these episodes, the merch, all of that. Speaking of merch, I am building an empire, depending on how long you've been listening. You've probably heard me say that more than a few times. Well, the empire, the revolution is still underway. So if you're interested in joining, I do provide donation-based counseling to the collective for those who are going through spiritual awakenings, for those who traditional counseling may not be your vibe. Just know that you're accepted here, and that mental health is very important, and there's no shame in it. So if you feel like just whatever you're going through, you just need a little extra help, whatever it is. I did years as a career counselor as well. So if you're having issues with that, as a lot of people are still trying to find their way and getting their employment and their prosperity going. So if that's something that, now I'm not a financial advisor, let me just clarify that, but if you're seeking your purpose and you're feeling maybe just a little lost or just a little confused right now, there's a lot going on, so know that it's okay to feel that way. And it's also Pisces season, so you're like, what does that have to do with anything? Well, a lot. You might have been having a lot of crazy dreams right now, because Pisces season deals with that 12th house, which is the astral plane. So it's another service that I offer, and I've had people take me up on this offer, which is dream interpretation. So if you're having some really interesting dreams right now, you're astral projecting, you're feeling like you're having outer body experiences, I do provide services for that, and you can send me an email or you can reach out on social media, and I'll be more than glad to assist you with that process. Definitely gotten some good feedback from people who have received dream interpretations. So if that's you and you feel like, yeah, I don't know what I'm dreaming about, or this is really weird, it's nothing is new under the sun. So please, if you feel that need, please reach out. But I am building an empire, as I said, is that not only do I provide counseling at a donation base, but I'm also looking for those who want to join this team, who want to work alongside me, who want to work with me and not for me, as I build this empire from the ground up. So everything you guys see, everything you guys hear, from music to videos, it's just one person doing all of it. So I would love to get a team. I need a team. So if you feel that that's you, and you feel like, you know what, I'm an artist, I want to create, or I'm a yoga instructor and I want to do virtual yoga through your platform, or a nutritionalist, or whatever, anything that has to do with shadow work, inner child healing, just a holistic approach at life, that's what I'm creating. So if you feel like you want to be a part of that, please reach out somehow, some way. Let me know. Let's collaborate. As always, if you want to join an episode of the podcast, you definitely can. You definitely can. Let me know what topic you want to talk about. Maybe you want to nominate someone to talk about something. Make sure you talk to them first and then let me know. But yeah, all of those things are still at your service right now. So I just am really grateful to have you guys here, and just to continue doing these episodes. It's been a while, and I've missed you guys, so it's been a while. And, if you feel like this year has kind of started off rocky, which clearly it has, or you feel just very discouraged by world events, it's very important to clear and ground your energy right now. And if you don't know how to do that, there's plenty of videos on YouTube on how to do that. There's plenty of books you can read on how to do that. If anybody's reading, I love that, so you can do that. But also just remembering that help is here. It's important to reach out and get help, No one can be an island. I've been a one-man band for a long time, but I'm kind of, used to doing that. But even still, we need connection. We need assistance on our path, and there are those who want to help us on our journey. So it's okay to receive that help, and could get into a whole topic of the challenges of receiving and the wounded divine feminine. But that's for another story. That's for another day. What else? I wrote down some stuff so I wouldn't miss anything. So yes, if you want to join, just anything, if you want to give your 2 cents on stuff, most definitely you can. Also, now this is new. So this is why I keep saying I'm building an empire, because now you can actually purchase that on the 1111 Podcast merch store. So yes, the merch store is up now and is running live. So if you would like to get some gear, just some 1111 gear and just other things, and again, if you want to join the team, I definitely would love artists who are creative and want to assist with this. But please check out the merch store. You can now buy hoodies, you can buy mugs, you can buy pillows with all of the stuff that will help build this channel. So if you want to support, donations are always appreciated. You can click the Linktree link if you want to leave a donation. I definitely appreciate those guys. So if you want to leave a donation for this channel, or even yet if you want to leave a review, there are Apple reviews. This is on so many different platforms. You can write a review, you can text a review, however you want to do that. But please share these messages. Please leave a message if it's been assisting you as well. So I love reading you guys' comments and everything. And now you can comment on the YouTube channel. So it's all love. It's all love. So I think that was kind of what I wanted to talk about. Now, if you're just now joining, I ended last season with the forecast for this year. Now, we are in the year of 2022, and I gave a forecast for that. So if you haven't heard that yet, please check that out. Now, after I gave that forecast, I checked out 3 other people's forecasts. Now, I like to sit and center with the divine and receive source messages before I watch other people's interpretations. But it was very interesting to see some similar themes coming up through these other channels I watched. So if you want to check that out, I will list them also below. But after I did my forecast, I watched Ralph Smart's forecast, Infinite Waters, and then I watched Teal Swan's forecast. She did a forecast too. I watched her forecast, which was really interesting because it's kind of, it was so like interesting because it was already a message I was getting, but there were so many messages and so many timelines and shifting that I decided to stick with more of one side. But that was also part of it, which kind of prompted me to make this episode. And then the last forecast I watched was Feel Good. Maybe you guys have seen him, Feel Good. He did a forecast for this year too. Now, I mentioned that we are in the very dreamy, watery season of Pisces, which can make things a little confusing and can make things a little ungrounded, if you will. And right now, you might feel like that you just got a rocky start to the year. Well, I just want to remind you that we technically haven't started the new year. Okay, January 1st is a man-made concept. It doesn't exist. Very much like time, it does not exist. And so we actually don't start the year until Aries season, which I believe is March 20th, 21st, somewhere around there. So if you feel like you're behind the curve or you're just not where you want to be right now, it's okay. Just take your time because we haven't started the new season yet. We haven't started the new cycle yet. And at the end of a year, there's always a little bit of chaos and confusion because there's a breaking point that happens. There's a breakthrough that happens energetically when we go through a year. That's why people get really frantic at the end of the year, right? That's why people get really frantic at the end of the year, like, I gotta get these goals done. I gotta do this. I gotta do that. And you're like, dude, chill. Like, what? So the point is, we put all this pressure on us because there's literally a pressure. It's like a pressure cooker that's happening towards the end of the year, which can cause conflict, which can cause outbreaks, which can cause a lot of fear. All of these things that are happening in our world at this current moment are a reflection of what's happening in the spiritual realm. And so when things are happening, it's been really helpful for myself and maybe for you as well to zoom out and see what's really going on. I can't wait for that episode to air. But what's really going on? What's really going on right now? Because as above, so below. So everything that's happening in our world is happening on another plane, another dimension. And so I wanted to title this episode Government. Now, I had no clue. I mean, maybe my soul did, but I had no clue consciously that we would be where we are right now with our government and governments and sanctions and everything else going on right now in the world. Because I got this message the end of last year, or I should just say December. I got this message in December of government is going to be something important. And I believe it was Teal Swan that actually talked about that a little bit in her forecast. So I was really grateful to see other people giving these messages and aligning to that same thing. It's just that confirmation of like, oh yeah, that's true. And I got this message of government. Now I decided to focus on this episode of being government because 10, the spiritual number 10, does not really exist. It goes back to 1. 1 plus 0 is 1. So we actually start over. Now this is the 10th season. Whoa. This is the 10th season of the 1111 podcast. So if y'all been rocking for 10 seasons, that's like a whole relationship right there. So if y'all have been here since day 1, awesome. If you're going back to check out day 1, awesome. If you're about to leave because I'm talking about this, even better. So, but number 10, the spiritual meaning of number 10 has a couple of meanings that I've understood. And one of that is 10 is the number of government. Now you're like, where do you get that from? It comes from sacred texts. There's a passage in sacred text. I won't go over it, but I will hint at it. And if you feel the need to look it up, by all means. But there's a sacred text passage that says the government will be on his shoulders. Now I kept thinking, like, what does that mean exactly? So I looked it up, and it's very interesting the times that we're in and the times that are reflecting right now. Because right now we are in a stalemate of resistance. We're in a stalemate of resistance right now where there's a lot of stagnation going on collectively. And I'll touch on that a little bit later. But I wanted to name this season, this beginning episode, Government, because 10 is the number of government. 10 is also the number of testing. So you might feel really tested right now. Maybe people are pushing you beyond your limits. Maybe you're being tested beyond your comfort zone. Maybe you're being tested to show more patience or compassion. Maybe you're being tested by your living situation. Literally, people are being evacuated, as we speak. And it's a real test of character right now. People are being tested in their character. Do I fight in a war that I never even signed up for? Do I, do these things that are against my own conscience because someone else told me to? Like, people are really being tested, and those who are saying no are really transcending this time right now. And 10 is a very significant number, and I feel that these seasons somehow coincide with what's going on in the world, ironically. So I wanted to talk about just the numerology of that and the meaning behind this. But this episode is really not about government. So it doesn't matter what kind of government you're in, what kind of world, what kind of land, what kind of region you occupy, whether you're in a, very tyrannical area or not. And that doesn't mean, I don't say that to diminish the real fear and terror and danger that's actually happening for people all across the world, because danger is real. Fear is an illusion. So I'm not saying this to minimize the real catastrophes that are happening. But what I want to remind us is that government is officially not governing you. So I want to really focus on how are you governing yourself, right? Because we lean and depend on our government, and we feel like if the government would just change, we would be better. But that's giving away our power, And so I wrote a couple of things down that have been brewing in my soul for a minute, and it's just been going on for a while in my mind. So I want to download this, guys, with you guys. And I had this really really interesting download earlier today that I'll share here. Is that I was setting up my room and everything where I record, and I was using my vacuum that I've had for a while, and for some reason the vacuum, like the swivel part, swiveled all the way to the opposite side, and when I tried to turn it correctly, it would not work. And the only way it would quote unquote work was in the reverse, but it was in opposition against itself, so it wouldn't work either. So let me just, I know that might not have made any sense, especially if you don't have the visual for it. But what I got from that, let's focus on what I really got. What I got from that was that, to me, it was symbolic for what's happening in the collective. I always get these downloads from very simple things, and what I sensed and what I received was right now in the collective, all of these things are happening because of the resistance. There's been so much resistance to change. There's so much resistance to letting go. There's so much resistance to embracing the new, because change is unfamiliar. Change produces anxiety. Change is not safe in some ways, or we have that illusion that it's not safe. So we hold on to things that are even more not safe. And so I was seeing this vacuum that was all discombobulated and realizing collectively we would rather try to continue something that's not working out of the sake of continuing what we know than to replace that with something new. So that's kind of what I got, and I just was like, whoa. It was so much more than that, but just for the sake of not trying to be more confusing of what else I got, I'll just leave it at that, because that was kind of the premise of it. So when we talk about government, before we can talk about how to govern ourselves, let's understand what is a government and what is going on within this government. Why does it even matter? So let's turn to our good ass friend Google. Let's just go ahead and say it. Let's turn to our good ass friend Google. Google says a government is the system or group of people governing an organization or an organized community, generally a state. So a government is the system or a group of people governing an organized community, generally a state. Now, what's interesting about this is what caught my eye was the word system. Okay, system. Systems can malfunction. Systems can break. Systems can fall apart. Systems don't focus on how do you feel. They focus on how do you function. Systems are very mechanical. They don't really give a damn about how you are as an individual. They care about, is it working? Do all the checks check off? Do all the bolts work? Then we're good. And I really highlighted that word system because I started thinking about, in psychology, there's a theory called family systems, which indicates that a system can be corrupt, a system can be abusive, a system can be toxic, and a system can be dysfunctional. So realizing that people who are saying a lot of stuff are operating out of a very dysfunctional mindset. And people don't realize that they're living in dysfunction until they try to get healthy. And they realize, wait, I thought that was normal, or I thought everyone lived like this, or I thought that's how it's supposed to be. Whatever the case is, once you get far enough away from dysfunction and you realize, wait, there's a whole nother way I could be. Whoa, like that's a game changer right there. So if you get a glimpse of getting away from it and then you go right back into it, you have now entered into an abusive situation. So I have a few things that have been really brewing for me that I'm going to talk about right now, which is that we are all, no matter what government, no matter where we are in the world, in a really dysfunctional relationship with our government, because we have all experienced a trauma bond with our government. We are in a traumatic bond with government as a system, as a unit, as a device, whatever you want to call it. And if you're not familiar with trauma bonds, I did an episode titled Trauma Bonds. Please go check that out. You can listen to it with music or without the music for deeper revelation, however you want to listen to it or not. And that might help you understand a little bit more. But trauma bonds can be created through several ways. Okay, I gave a lot of trauma bonding on the episode titled Trauma Bonds. But also another way, and I don't know if I even mentioned this precisely or not, but another way that traumatic bonds can be created is through shared trauma. So for example, this generation has experienced a lot of shared trauma, such as 9/11, such as this current pandemic, and a wide range of things in between all of that. So when we've experienced trauma as a collective, we bond together because it's the whole concept of we went through so much together. We have to rally together. We have to have some kind of enemy outside of us, or we have to stay together because of all that we went through. And we become dependent, or rather codependent on certain things. And so right now we have a pandemic that started in 2020 and is now continued to 2022. And so much has happened in between that time, because what I feel is happening right now is when you are losing control, you do any and everything to gain that control back. When there's been so much oppression and so much of stripping people's identity, you do anything to get that back. Right now, our relationship to the government is I'm sorry, I put the mic down. I got into it. Is a parasitical relationship right now with our government. So, what I'm saying right now is that what I'm seeing right now is different groups are being disempowered. Different entities are being disempowered. And in order to stir up enough fear to generate their source, because if they are the parasites, we are the source. So to generate enough fear, we're going to have a pandemic. We're going to have Black Lives Matter in the midst of it. We're going to have protests. And I believe my camera just went off, so let's see. It did. Yeah. Huh. Okay. Not sure why that happened. You see? As soon as you start talking about something real, things get a little bit interesting. So, when you need to generate enough energy, because it's all energy at the end of the day, and you realize that your plans are failing to keep things a certain way, to keep things stagnant. Because if the human collective stays stagnant and never wakes up to who they truly are, then they will never overthrow the government. And again, I'm not even talking about a literal government. I'm talking about the energies behind the government, the energies at play. And what you do is such a manipulation, it's such a mind thing. And you have to continue to create trauma so that you create a trauma bond where the victim is dependent on the abuser. And anyone who's experienced any type of abuse understands that whole concept of resenting someone but loving them at the same time, or trying to get away from someone but feeling like you can't because you are interconnected or dependent or whatever the case is. And so right now I'm just seeing this play out as the government is creating trauma bonds with us. So another example of a trauma bond is, say someone gets, and if this has happened to you, I'm not even trying to trigger you, but this is an example, a couple examples I'll give of another way trauma bonds can occur through trauma. Say someone has been in a fire and a firefighter rescues them, and now they feel that you saved me. Oh my gosh, I'm so in love with you. and they bypass all of the red flags of this person. They bypass if they're even compatible with this person, and they just focus on feeling indebted to them, or focus on the romanticism of that whole concept. And then they get married, and years down the line, they realize they don't even like each other. That's one way that trauma bonds can occur. Another way is when you are both experiencing a similar trauma. So, say, for example, you meet someone, you're in AA, they're in AA as well, and you guys have this mutual connection. And you mistake, I'm sure you've seen these posts perhaps, where it says, try not to mistake shared trauma for compatibility. Well, right now, what the government is doing is stirring up enough trauma so that you will become dependent on them. Let's have people lose their jobs, so you need to file for unemployment through the government. Let's have people lose their housing, so you have to file for a Section 8 or whatever. Let's have these food shortages, so you can come to us for food pantry services, or whatever the case is. So all of these things create, you can't get away from us. We need your energy. We need to fuel this fear. We need to keep this thing going. So let's create enough havoc so that you come back to us and you feel safe and you feel secure. That's unfortunately the lies that any abusive situation creates or can create. That's one form of it. And so when the government does these things and they see that it's not working, they have to keep amping it up. Oh, that didn't work. Let's focus on women's rights. Let's focus on anti-abortion. That'll do something. Let's focus on doing all these things behind the scenes while we have these big distractions come up. Let's just invite a whole war into the whole scene now. Let's do these things to see how much fear we can provoke in people to keep them connected to us, in line with what we say, and under our control. So once you realize that's what's going on, you start to make different choices, right? And either you fall back asleep and just say, well, this is just the way it is. This is how life is. Or you decide to do something outside of that. So then what often happens for those of us who are waking up or who have been awake for a long time, they either can go into one way of rebelling against the government. F the government, F the police. That's the pendulum swinging to one extreme to find balance. It has to swing from one extreme to the other to try to compensate and try to find some sense of balance. But that's actually not bringing any solutions. It's like getting out of a dysfunctional relationship and then hating on that person. You're actually not helping. You're actually just contributing more to the energy of hate than not. So, blame. There are two ways that separation can occur, and it's through blame and it's through ascension. So blame is what we tend to do first. We blame the government for our problems. We blame them. They don't care about us. We blame the finger. We point the finger. We blame them, and blame keeps us apart and creates separation, but it still keeps us connected through the energy, through the frequency, through the vibration of anger and fear. So we might blame something or try to shame something, but we are still tethered to it because all we're doing is saying how much we are pushing against it. And we're operating in resistance to that thing, which creates, of course, more resistance. So that's one way that we can create separation, but it is not a very effective way because you're still tethered to it. So again, if you're in a dysfunctional relationship, or even abusive relationship, and you start talking trash about this person, you're still thinking about them. You're still entertaining that. You're still doing that. So you're still tethered to it. The other way to create separation, which I feel is a more effective way, is through ascension. So when we have ascension, we release what no longer serves us, and we are also free. We free ourselves from whatever was holding us back. And so when we ascend, it's being able to have accountability for ourselves, to recognize our role in depending on the government, or depending on anything really, our role in the situation, taking accountability for our actions, facing our own shadows, doing those kind of things to release us, to not blame ourselves or others, but to truly ascend and transform that energy. And so ascension is like a boundary setting, because it gives the other party one or two options: either ascend or be left behind. And so for years we've tried to push against, or push and pull, which just creates a very dysfunctional dynamic. But what we need to do is just ascend and let whatever doesn't float up with us just fall off to the waysides. But a lot of us have difficulty doing that, because then it becomes about yourself. And it's not easier, I shouldn't say easier, but it's more common to fall into victim mindset, because we want justice, because we want them to be accountable, we want them to change, we want this, we want that. It's not going to work that way. And so it's not going to work that way with the government either, or with any situation, especially when there's a group, a system, whether it's a family, whether it's a government, whatever the case is. You have to learn how to govern yourself. But before we can govern ourselves, we have to take awareness, and we have to acknowledge the patterns, the programming, all of these things that are actually happening. And it might make us feel powerless to admit that we've been deceived by the government, to admit that we've trusted the government, or to admit that we've pushed against it and we've rebelled against it, equally causing the same problem. So the other thing is that we are all in an incompatible relationship with our government. Now, if you're not familiar with incompatibility, again, there's an episode I did a while back if you want to check that out. But incompatibility is the greatest and most painful trauma bond. It's a constant state of feeling not good enough, hiding who we are, and being inauthentic. So one thing that the government does is stirs up all this fear, because when we are out of alignment with who we are, when we're being inauthentic, we are not living our purpose. We are not living life to the fullest. And what can happen is we lose ourselves. Which is part of the propaganda plan, is to not have people realize that they don't need to depend on their government, to not have people realize that they can actually think for themselves. And so I know I'm not saying nothing new to you guys. You guys been here. You guys know. And so what the government does, or with any abusive situation does, or dysfunctional situation does, they gaslight. They try to make you feel like what you see you didn't see, what you hear you don't hear. They might try to make you feel crazy about your own belief. They lie, they manipulate, and they produce fear. Fear is very much connected to our survival instincts. Our reptilian brain, our malleable brain, is not fully developed, so we automatically can tap into fear. It's one of the most prevalent emotions that we experience. And if we don't know how to channel it properly, and if we don't see it for what it really is, then we can become easily manipulated by it. And fear can keep us paralyzed, can keep us stagnating, all of these things. And right now we're in this stagnation, right? I just saw this boat where two people are paddling in two different directions, those who want to ascend and those who want to stay in the 3D. And it's just going to spin in circles and circles and circles until you get so exhausted that you just give up. And that's what's happening right now, is there's such a stagnation, right, of people not ascending, or ascending then not, or 2 steps, 3 steps back, And when the government, or a system, I'll just say a system because it starts with the family, right? But when a system keeps you from knowing who you are, it creates a disruption in that fundamental question of, who am I? And I did an episode titled I Am, to help you maybe tap back into your divinity, to tap back into source consciousness. And the concept of I Am is connected to the root chakra. Now, when you're connected or out of connection to the root chakra, it's very easy, because the root chakra really focuses on those primal needs that we have of food, shelter, safety, etc. Primal instincts. It's connected more to that animal, that reptilian side, that reptilian brain. I don't really like using reptilian because you think of the star seeds, and that's a whole nother thing. Speaking of, there's a whole section on star seeds, shameless plug, if you want to look at that. But when we tap into that fear, the first thing that gets triggered is our security. We're looking for security. So we might go to the very people who are abusing us, such as the government. We might go to them for assistance. We might go to them for help when they're the ones that caused the problem. And so it's really toxic. It's really dysfunctional. It's really painful. It's really sad to watch. And, that's why potentially there could be a currency war that comes out of all of this, because right now we're still trying to ascend. And all of these things are happening to break down the process and to break down energies that are not going to align. So there could be a crypto war, a currency war, a cyber war that comes as a result, because this is not going, when you're dealing with people who are operating out of parasitical energy, such as different systems, they're not going to let you go without a fight, because you're their source. You are their only reason they are living. Okay, so the government doesn't work if we don't operate in it. The government does not have any say over us. That's why it's so important to focus on how do we govern ourselves. How do we govern ourselves? Because as long as there are people that participate, they will always feast and feed off of that energy. And so all of these things are happening as part of the collapse. Now, I mentioned that 10 is also the number of testing. We are going through another initiation phase that unfortunately seems that we are not necessarily ready for. And so what happens? We don't live in a universe of failure. You either pass or repeat. Pass or repeat. So I know and I feel that collectively there's too much uncertainty. There's too much fear of the unknown for us to take that leap of faith that is required to go to the next place. And so the universe depends on our expansion. And so if we stay stagnant, we are actually an enemy to the universe. If we stay in resistance to the new that is trying to emerge, we are actually an enemy to the universe. And when we are an enemy to ourselves, we work against ourselves, very much like a virus does. We hurt ourselves in the process of either trying to hurt someone else or trying to resist what is inevitable or what needs to happen. And so I did an episode a while back titled The New Normal. That might be beneficial for some of you to check out during this time, because there is a new normal that's trying to emerge, and it's seeming like everyone was just so focused on let's get back to normal, let's get back to the way things were, that they failed to realize the opportunity. Most of us failed to realize the opportunity right in our face, that this is a time to try something new. This isn't working. And so what happens when we continue to resist? It continues to get worse, and it seems that we're now on the path of the sixth extinction. And if you're not familiar with the sixth extinction, go check out your best friend Google, holla at that. And, that's a whole nother topic for a whole nother time and a whole nother series. But that is a potential path that we are moving towards. Now, I'm here for it all. Whatever needs to happen will. So I just say that you guys just anchor in your truth. Try to not let the outside affect the inside. Allow yourself to be the ones who govern yourself. So how do we govern ourselves? How do we govern ourselves? Well, one, we can really clear our energy. We have to become aware of what's actually happening. We have to become aware of how we contribute to the problem. And get the help that we need so that we don't inadvertently, subconsciously, accidentally, ignorantly contribute to more pain and suffering on this planet. So we have to understand our role in this. We're not just here doing nothing. We're not just here to let life happen to us. Okay, we are here to be change agents. Agent K, right? We're here to actually put our stamp here and to continue to evolve, There's such shallow energy I've sensed, and it's no one's fault really, but we have to really reach for more. We have to understand that there is more. We have to stretch past our own comfort zones. We have to put ourselves in situations that might, stretch us, test us, might bring up uncomfortable feelings, and to know that that's okay. That's part of growth, because anytime we have a change, there's always grief in change, because we have to grieve what once was, but it's a necessary process to happen. So change is never easy, but the more we resist it, the more we cause more casualties, the more we cause more pain and suffering, the more we prolong our own healing, And so clearing our energy, clearing our mindset, becoming aware. First, we have to become aware. Let me rephrase that. Become aware of how are we governing ourselves? How are we allowing the outside to influence the inside? Or are we allowing the inside to influence the outside? Clearing our energy, doing things that bring us joy, even in the midst of great trauma, even in the midst of great uncertainty, still finding ways to tap into that. Finding ways to shield yourself, especially if you're an empath or anyone with any type of gifting. Feel free to just check out ways to shield yourself and to operate in your own authenticity is going to be key. That is key to governing yourself. You have to be yourself and know yourself in order to govern yourself. And so clearing your chakras, doing meditations like that to clear your chakras, because when we are out of balance, we are not operating at our fullest potential, and we lose our resonance and we lose our true vibration of who we are. So trying to remain in yourself, establishing boundaries, recognizing the ways that we've, again, contributed to the problem. As brutally honest as we have to be with ourselves to do that, and painful as it is to face our shadows, it's worth it, and you're not the only one to go through it. So if you need help on this path, help is available. I promise you, help is available some way, somehow. And that's why I encourage those who also feel they have gifting to join this empire, to help those who need it, because I'm only one person and I'm not going to resonate with everyone. And some of these messages may not resonate with you. So if it does, I'm grateful for that. If it doesn't, I'm also grateful, because it clears space for those who might resonate with it. And so when we learn how to govern ourselves, we will have more authority over our thoughts, because our thoughts produce words, our words produce actions, and based on our actions causes a cause and effect based on our choices. So a lot of us haven't seen or known anything differently, so we don't realize there's actually alternative paths. I brought this up earlier today that when I was younger growing up, I did not like the way certain foods were. I didn't like dairy, and I didn't like meat. Go figure. And I remember when I was younger, I would help clean the chicken and stuff, and I was like, ew, I don't want to have to do this when I grow up. But no other option was presented to me. So I just assumed this is what I have to do. I guess I have to get used to this. But that's not the case, because here I am living a vegan life and enjoying it. But I had no clue that was even an option. And most of us don't realize that there is a way out of the system. There's a way out of these systems that are in place. So keep that in mind as we move forward. I'm going to go ahead and end and wrap up this episode here. But the most important thing I want you to remember is it's not about the government. It's about how you govern yourself. It's not about anything outside of you. It's about you living your truth and living who you want to be and what you came here for, and not allowing other things to sway you. Now, I know it's easier said than done if you've been imprisoned or if you're dealing with, tyrannical leaders and wars and things like that. It can be hard to remember that. But remember, they can never take away your dignity. They can never take away your power within you. It's always you. And you have the choices to say, how do I want to respond to these situations? So, again, if you would like to send in a topic request, please do so. If you would like to be a feature on these episodes, please do as well. And before I leave you guys, I want to leave you with a song that the artist that we know and love, known as Mary J. Wanna, actually released this back in 2014, and it's so relevant now. So if you stay till the very end, you'll be able to hear that. You'll hear that, and I'm just thinking of everything right now. It's just a lot going on. So if you're having interesting dreams, dream interpretations are available. If you would like counseling, if you like merchandise, please check out the merch store. I think that's all I'm going to say for now, but I'm so excited for this new season. Oh, I will say that for this new season, I want to leave this also some up and coming episodes that I have coming up. So this season, definitely getting back into the Ascended Masters saga series. However, so if you want to check out the Ascended Masters, please refer to the previous season and check out those. Gonna keep the ball rolling with the Ascended Masters, but I'm also going to be answering topic requests. So if you've sent in a topic request, or if you're going to, this is the time now to send it in. I will be getting to those very soon. So I'm going to kick it off with someone asked about spiritual superiority. So I'm going to be talking about that very soon. Going to be talking about, again, Ascended Masters, mental health, DNA, sleep paralysis, and mental health, addictions, and more. So much more. So if you have anything that you want to hear, particularly covered in this season, please let me know, and definitely will do. So with that, I will leave you guys. I hope that you guys are staying safe, staying well. Let's breathe it in and breathe it out. Sending you guys so much love, light, and peace on your journey. And I'll let Mary J. Wanna close us out. Until next time.
It's a cold world now, we gotta do better now. Let us plant and make this better ground. Overgrow the world government, don't shut it down. Legalize the tree, don't give me the runaround. Kanye wish Lawrence Hart was in rhyming. Where Kanye at? He chasing blood diamonds. Not trying to hate, just missing your face. Cause back in my day you made us sit down and think. My heart starts to ache for the young kids out to date. They gon' think this is what the world is made of. Alcohol, cigarettes, and hookah vapors. Can we get cannabis education? Talking brain receptors with no hidden lies in the lessons. I'm talking about facts, not tacky scare tactics. About medicine, food, clothing, hemp, paper too. Every day is a struggle. Wake up in the morning. Every day is a struggle. Every day is a struggle. Wake up in the morning. Every day is a struggle. We got $50 million recreation recreation, pot taxes, collected the fresh shit. Uncle Sam, could you imagine? Instead of cutting down trees, let's use weed. No need to incriminate, objectifying racist hate. Honestly, why do this to our planet? When I was a kid, I grew up Captain Planet, while idiots in Kentucky burning up the ground. Me and my friends, we burning, passing round. Now is the time to move forward. I'm only getting older. Sorry that my shoulder's not colder. Can't sit around and watch this failing drug war when people need their medicine like never before. Besides medicinal facts, it's about freedom, a privilege guaranteed took back. Bunch of Indian givers, I know that. Pay close attention, cause this is no act. Every day is a struggle. Wake up in the morning. Every day is a struggle. Every day is a struggle. Wake up in the morning. Every day is a struggle. We need to do better. We need to do better. We need to overgrow the world so we can do better. Cause when you know better is when you do better. Dismantle all the lies, then the truth will shatter. All deceit in the midst. Reefer madness, dare programs in the DSN. Can't tell us nothing we don't know, cause we all know. And if you look close, then you will know. In 1916, the U.S. government predicted that by 1940, all paper products would come from hemp, and that no more trees would need to be cut down. 1 acre of hemp equals 4.1 acres of tree.